FM, The Source.
Thank you for tuning in. Let's see, what is it? Oh my gosh, real close to the top of the hour already. All right, 9 minutes before 11 o'clock. When I was a kid, I took accordion lessons, and my teacher was Italian, so I had an Italian teacher.
Nice.
He didn't teach me Italian; he was an Italian teacher. We have a book called The Italian Teacher. Tom Rachman is on the phone. He's a journalist, a foreign desk editor for the Associated Press, a correspondent in Rome, a contributor to the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Guardian, and a whole slew of others. But we have very little time, so I want to make sure we're fair to him and to the book. The Italian Teacher is the name of the book, and I have a picture of the cover on the podcast we're doing simultaneously. Tom Rachman, good morning, sir. Thank you for being on the air with us today.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Help me out with your last name. Did I say it correctly?
It's Tom Rachman, but I'm happy if you say it however you say it.
Okay, well, I will now say it as Rachman. Where are you in Rome right now?
I'm in London.
Oh, in London. Okay. Well, thank you for being on the air with us. Tell me about the book. This is a novel, obviously. Is this? Tell me about the story.
It's a novel, and it's set in the art world. It begins in Rome in the 1950s, and it tells gradually the life story of the son of a very great painter, American painter who's living there as an expat. And his wife is herself an extremely talented artist, but one who is widely overlooked. Well, he gets all of the fame. They have this child, Pavinsky, and we watch over the course of the ensuing 300, 400 pages, what happens in his life. And in the background of all of this is the world of art. So it's a little glimpse into what the lives of artists are really like, and ask some questions about how they behave, whether they should behave that way, and what it is that ends up being considered great in the art world.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, I've never understood why things are great in the art world. Most people I know that make a living with art are not fine artists. Not that they couldn't be, but they're working like in commercial art. Are you an artist?
I'm not an artist, although I certainly studied art quite a bit to write this novel. I studied drawing and painting and pottery, and I read a great deal about the lives of artists, and I met quite a few of them as well, and interviewed plenty in order to get an insight of it all. But as well, having worked in the world of literature, then I had met in the arts generally quite a few peculiar, interesting, unorthodox characters, and I wanted to take some of my insights and experiences there and put them in a book that would give people that little peek into a world that I found pretty fascinating.
The bit of information you just gave us about the wife not being recognized, even though she was just as good, if not better, that's an interesting observation, because I'm guessing a lot of people can relate to that, and probably mostly women.
Well, I think that it's not just women. I think everybody who has ever looked at art and appreciated it, but also wondered a little bit about what it is that makes this one great and the other one forgotten forever. And perhaps that person has also tried to make art, or wanted to make art, or dreamed of it, and never quite found a place for it. You spoke of your friends who are commercial artists. There are also those who work in the crafts, and for quite arbitrary reasons, they're not considered to be proper artists. So there's a whole range of things that play into it, and I wanted to explore that, to ask those questions.
Oh, that is
what it is,
exactly,
and is it fair?
And about the parent perspective, your life is sort of paralleling your bear's life, because you're about to become a father, or you just become a dad?
I have become I became a father over the course of working on the book, and as you say, that it's one of the questions that I was worried about, that I tried to write out through this book, is this question of whether one could devote oneself to a life in the arts and also be a responsible father. And it's a question at the heart of this book, and it's a question that was in my heart as well as I wrote.
And are the artists in the book fine artists? I don't even know if I'm asking it the right way, but What I mean by that is like museum pieces.
Well, it's a you have the main let's say the main painter. He's a man who longs to get his work into museums. His wife is a ceramic artist and therefore has very little chance at all. So I wanted to show both sides of that window.
And maybe we can compare that in the music world to the person who composes something for the cello as opposed to the composer for a banjo. Is that similar?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, absolutely. I think that we have all of these different, sometimes arbitrary rules of status when it comes to the arts, and the more closely you look at them, the more you realize how there's no particular basis, and sometimes the basis might be some prejudice that was held in 16th century Italy in the Renaissance, and that has somehow continued through to this day. And our myths about the arts are very old, and it's rare that we really look at them that closely.
Wow.
And you also talk about Pinch's growing up, and he was able to grow up and travel to a few different countries to experience their cultures while trying to pursue his dreams.
That's right. Yeah, this is a book that takes place in Italy, in Canada, in Britain as well, and as you say, or as you suggest, it's a book that yes, it has the art world as its backdrop, but it's also a very human tale. I hope it's one that is about a full life, a life lived in the shadows of a very, very charismatic, powerful person, and the effort over the course of those years to find exactly where one fits in the world.
Wow.
And this character, the main character, Pinch, is trying to figure out quite what he should be in life, whether he is an Italian teacher or whether he's something more. And the reader gradually realizes through some secrets that are buried in the plot that he perhaps has more to him than just his outward appearance.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to reading it. I know Robin read it already. I have not, and quite often it's hard for me to get to them. But after listening to you, I love the fact that you're not leaning on a murder or like a sexual liaison or something like that. I love I love this topic. I love the fact that you've taken the art world and made this the backdrop.
Well, thank you. I hope that it's.
I think you probably got to go. I can hear something hollow sounding right now. Let me make sure we give the book away. I don't want to. I'll buy my own copy. I did find it on Amazon. If you want a copy of the book, The Italian Teacher, call me right now and I'll leave it for you. Or go to Tom's website, Tom Rachman, RACHMAN.com, or Amazon, or anywhere books are sold, really. Tom, it's been an honor to speak to you. Come back with the next book.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you. I'd be delighted to.
That was very good. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the third Wednesday of each month at 9:30.